Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Running a late model fixed series race here for week 8, a little bit earlier than I typically do. We are at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, going to be going out for qualifying.
Pit lane speed limit is
Didn't quite catch the strength of field I was looking for. Actually, I'm car number 30 out of, I believe, 14. So pretty weak overall, and some guys that I did not expect to put up quick times in qualifying have put up some fast times, so just going to try to do the best that I can, see if I can get anything on this run. It's always, for me, first lap is by far the fastest, so just going to try to do the best that I can, see if I can get a run, and try to remotely come close to a decent lap. It's definitely going to be tough to put in a pole sitting time. Lose it off the fucking corner. Restart. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Doing a late model fixed series race here for week 8 at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Running a little bit earlier in the week than I typically do, but going to try to give it the best shot. Was hoping to get a fairly strong strength of field. It didn't seem to work out that way. I'm actually car number 3. I think there's 14 in it, and going to go out for qualifying. Tried to start the first lap and lost it off of turn 2, so we're going to have one lap to put in a time, which doesn't really worry me too much in the fact that my first lap is typically always my fastest, so I was just going to have to try to make this one as good as I can if I want a shot to start towards the front. It's pretty tough to pass here unless somebody makes a mistake, so track position's definitely going to matter, but certainly going to try to get the best run I can. I don't think I'll be able to get near the pole, but if I can just get towards the front and get on the inside line, that'll help me. Car setup is fairly loose to start, kind of helps getting it around, but it's easy to slide it too much and lose time off the corner, so kind of entering a little bit higher and just diving it off the corner to try to get a bit of a run. 33 is not going to be good enough for pole. Third, or second, unfortunately, so going to be starting on the outside row, not the position I envy, but glad to have come close to pole sitter speed. Beat out some guys that I consider to be faster, but certainly, it's definitely going to be a tough start for sure. I could easily see myself falling to 5th, 6th, 7th off the start, depending on how the start goes and if I get freight trained or not. But certainly going to do the best I can. 40 laps. Going to try to get the best start. Try to get down as soon as I can without losing too much position to risk any problems, and see if we can keep it clean. Try to take advantage of starting towards the front. So, going to get gridded up. Only a couple of people were waiting for to get gridded up, so hopefully it starts sooner. Hopefully I can continue the trend. If you haven't seen the ARCA race, that one was definitely a bit of a different story compared to the C-Class Fixed Series that I ran to start off week 8. So hopefully I can continue the trend of the ARCA race and not the trend of the Truck Series. But certainly going to just try to enjoy this. I'm definitely enjoying the setup here this week. I'm enjoying Nashville. I like running late models here. And I don't know. It's definitely an interesting track. You got to take a little bit of a non-conventional line. You're going to enter. For me, I'm finding it's faster to enter about a lane to lane and a half up off of the corners, and then especially in turn 2 to dive down a little bit later in the corner to avoid the bump. There is a bump there that if you get into it too early, it just upsets the car and throws it all the way up the track, as well as just kind of kills your momentum off the corner. So obviously you need to defend the inside. But if you pinch the corner coming in on entry, it just kills all your momentum coming off the corner. So it's definitely a bit of a non-conventional line. It can be pretty tough to run when you're side-by-side or got people right behind you, but it's definitely creating a lot of fun racing. So glad to be somewhat improving my starting efforts, even though, again, this is a weaker strength of field. But unfortunately, I'd rather have been third than second, so I could have been starting on the inside row. So just going to try to make the most of it, though, and see what I can come away with. Not sure if 10's going to have the pace to be quick the whole time. Not sure the 9's going to have the pace to be quick the whole time. Not sure if they're going to burn up tires and be falling off the last half of the run. If you're going to see guys like the 1 and the 5 moving their way up. Just going to try to give it the best ride that I can and see what I can come away with. So, be going to green this time by. Just going to try to get the best start. I'm sure the 10's going to be able to jump me. I'm sure the 9's going to be able to pull by me, and hopefully I can just find a comfortable spot and duck down in. So, pace car's off. Going to wait for the 10 to go. He's off and rolling. I tried to time that as best as I could. You could see the 9 already got to my inside. It's just going to be at the disadvantage the whole way through that start. So
Coming up on the inside.
just going to see if I can get the 9 by me, fall in behind him, stay in front of the 5, only lose 1 spot off the start, which isn't too bad. And then kind of just start riding right now. Don't want to push the car too hard, but certainly don't want to let them get too far away. Just going to kind of ride and see where I can fall. Again, not sure if these guys are going to know how to save tires. I think saving tires does come a bit into play, as you can easily start getting too tight off the corner later on in the run. It just kills all your drive off. So we'll have to see how that's going to be. We've already got 1 car up ahead. Thankfully he's on the apron right now. 9 got a bit loose off the corner, so I'm going to watch out for that to see if I can take advantage and try to get to his inside, get back to second. You can see I'm getting a better run off the corners. Seems to have gathered it up a little bit with him staying so high, though. I gotta watch, because I can easily get to the inside, but it's gonna kill the momentum off. He's just all over, so 5's certainly catching up to me. It's gonna be one of those where I want to try to get by the 9 sooner than later, because it looks like the 10's quite a bit faster, and I don't want to lose touch with the 10. Try to get to the inside of the 9 through 1 and 2. It's gonna give me the disadvantage, though, off the corner. You can see the 9 gets a little bit of a better run. Just trying to see if I can force the 9 to make a mistake. Try to take advantage of the position. I don't want to push the car too hard, but I also don't want to be losing too much time to the 10 this early. And if I wait too long, I'm going to have pressure from the 5 as well. I feel like I definitely got the pace to be faster than the 9. It's just going to be a matter of either waiting for him to make a mistake or trying to get him up off the corner. Trying to dive down a little bit, not quite a good enough entry there, or exit out of turn 4. Kind of push the 9 up and see if I can do the same thing, dive under, try to get a run down the backstretch this time. Try to stay to the side of him.
On your right.
You can get away with a little bit more of a lower entry through 3-4, though it's a bit tougher. Contact with the 9, I think he came down off the wall. Didn't feel like I really pinched him too hard, but we've seen him be a bit erratic so far. Just trying to do the best that I can, kind of overdrive the corner, slide it a little bit too much through 3 and 4. Just trying to fight and get by him. That outside line has such an advantage off the corner. But I certainly think I'm quicker than him. Drives down in again to me. I don't feel like I caused any problems there. I might have washed up a little bit, but it felt like he was trying to cut down when he didn't have me clear, so don't feel too bad. We're up to second. Looks like he caused some problems behind as well, coming off the wall, so we'll have to take a look at that, see if that was me driving a bit too aggressive or what was going on. But I still feel like he was a bit too aggressive cutting down on me in the corners, so, and you could see out of the contact we made, it was never rough enough to be assigned to me either, so could have been very minor contact, or it could have been on him for doing that. So it's kind of riding now that we cleared him. Try to do the best job I can to keep the 5 behind me. 5's definitely pushing a bit harder. We got a big gap between the 5 back to the 8, so if the 5 does happen to push too hard, I can try to let him by and not risk losing too many spots getting freight turning, but certainly don't want to do that if I can avoid it. I'd like to try to be in a position to close up on the 10 as the race goes on and see if I can get a shot at the win. Gap was 1.6 last time by to the 10, so I think the 5's going to do a good job hanging with me and riding towards the front, and we'll see if the 2 of us can close up on the 10. Big thing for me is to make sure I don't get on the throttle too early coming out of the corners. That causes me to push up the track and potentially smack the wall. Also wears out that right front. And just obviously make sure that I'm also not sliding it too much off the corners. Don't want to heat up those rear tires at all. But definitely entering a little bit higher and cutting down seems to be the way to go to get the run down the straightaway. So you don't want to go too high and increase your corner distance too much, but you don't want to cut down too early and pinch it either. Gap seems to hold pretty consistent right now with the 10s, about 1.6 each lap. Just see if he's got the pace to continue that all run. If he does, good for him. I think he got the benefit of the 9 holding the rest of them up, that allowed us to, or allowed him to pull away from us a little bit more. I feel like I'm starting to pull just a little bit away from the 5, not much, but 10th or so. Try to get a little bit more of a gap so I don't have to worry too much about him trying to dive it in. Closes it up about a 10th that time by, but it's going to bounce back and forth. I'm certainly not the most consistent driver, so I know that's something I need to work on to be able to take my racing game up to the next level, is the consistency. 10's pulling away a little bit, not sure if he's picking up the pace or if I'm just falling off a little more than him, but certainly just going to keep running my line, kind of my race plan strategy, and see what I can get out of it. Kind of did a bit of practice for longer runs just to see how hard I could push it to achieve a certain lap time fall off and where it put me at for tire wear, as well as what the balance of the car felt like. You can see the 2's doing a good job to catch up. He's broken free from the pack behind and made a good run. He's all the way only 6/10ths back behind, so he might be one that could potentially get by the 5 and I have to let go. So we could be looking at anywhere from a probably maybe a possibly a win, but second all the way through 4th depending on how it shakes out. So just gonna do my best though to protect the positions right now. I want to try to not make any mistakes and force them to try to find a way around me.
Okay, Jake, you're halfway home.
Got a little too low that time. That's what happens if you get too low off of it. Just kills the momentum off. You have to lift. 2 makes a big dive on the 5. 5 just pushes up the track. I think that was kind of designed by the 5 to let him go as quickly as possible. 2 just definitely sent it in big time. So I'm gonna have to watch out for the 2 doing the same thing to me. He's definitely got a lot more pace, so we'll see how hard he pushes it. 10's loving this though. The more he can see us running side by side and battling, the more that's going to allow him to pull away without having to stress his tires or his car. Already halfway, 22 down, 18 to go. Really got to start finding some time on the 10 if I want any shot of being able to get to him, which right now does not seem to be happening. Second place finish obviously would be better than what iRacing predicted me to do, and would be matching where I started at least. Just really wanted to take advantage again of another weaker field like I had last week and try to get a better finish out of it. I gotta do my best to hold off the 2. It's gonna be a tough battle for sure. Just have to focus on hitting my line, not really looking out the rearview mirror too much. And if I can do that, it's definitely going to put the 2 in a tougher spot to try to get by me. I think he knows that if he tries to dive in on side, unless I really make a mistake, it's going to kill his momentum. So keeping pace with the 10 now. Just, I don't know, I think the 10's that quick. That's really good on him for getting that, getting that pace. 2 looks like he's trying to take a bit of a higher entry to cut it down even more and try to get a better run off of the corner. Closes up big time that time through 3 and 4. 5's falling back more, so if the 2 does get by me, I'm not crazy worried about the 5 being right there if I can get down quickly enough. It's just a matter of how easily I can set up the cut down after the 2 gets on by, but we're not going to think about that right now. I'm going to think about trying to drive the best that I can and then force the 2 to find a way around me. He's starting to look lower. Just going to try to defend as best as I can while still running the line that I want that keeps my pace up. Like I said, the 10's loving this because I've got to adjust my line and kind of giving up some lap time that way by not being able to run the most optimal line to defend to the 2, so it's allowing the 10 to pull away. It's looking like it's only going to be a second place finish, so just going to try to do the best I can. 5's starting to close back up with the 2 being held up a bit, so this is going to be a 3-car battle for 2nd through 4th, and it's definitely going to get exciting. A bit nerve-wracking for me right now. I'm trying to do the best I can to stay as calm as I can and as consistent as I can. That's the only way I'm going to have a shot at finishing 2nd. So 2-degree commentating right now on this, trying to do my best is helping me. It's allowing me to still breathe and try to not get too worked up overall. Probably got a little too much wheel in there. We've got 10 to go this time by, so Laps are not going to click off fast enough for me. 2's closing up big time. I'm trying to do the best that I can to work it. You can see how hard the 2's working the wheel, the mirror behind. He's got his hands going back and forth. He's looking to the inside. I try to cut down and throw a little bit of a block to try to stop it. This is a great battle between the two of us. Good clean racing, good clean short track racing so far, although I'm sure the 2's going to look at the bumper relatively soon.
That was a 20.03.
Just trying to do what I can to get a little bit better of a run off the corner, see if I can open it up and force him to have to drive in harder to try to get to me, which could allow me to continually open that gap up a little more. He bounces off the wall. That gives me a lot of relief right there. Just drove it too hard off of turn 4 and got it into the outside wall down the front stretch, so that helped out big time. You can see that gap basically doubles right there with that. That's going to allow me a lot of relief. I know he's going to come storming back, but that's going to buy me relief for a few laps at least and click down the amount of time he has left to try to get by me. Got 7 to go this time by, so laps are clicking down, but not fast enough for me. I'm trying to do my best not to make any mistakes as well. Just focused on trying to hit marks, not overdrive it, because if I get into the wall, it's all over for me as well.
You've just done a
10, like I said, is loving this. He's gone. I'm not going to be able to close up to him unless he's got problems with lap traffic ahead, but you can see they're quite a bit ahead of you as well, so I don't know if he's even going to get to them before the end of the run. Might have picked up the throttle a little too early, not too bad. Just pushed a little wide to cut it down. That kills the run off. You can see the 2's definitely got the pace. Probably at best a 3rd place car in terms of pace, maybe even 4th place car. 2's closed up. 8's done a good job to tighten the gap back up as well, so he needed another 30 or 40 laps to be able to insert himself into this battle. Gonna have 4 to go this time by, so the 2's closed it back up really quickly. Just gonna have to try to stave off the battle from him as best as I can. It's all gonna be about who makes the mistake, more or less, rather than you know, who's flat out faster. It's just such a hard one to try to get the run on because that outside line coming down just has such a big run. 2 gets back into the wall a little bit, doesn't hurt him as bad as the last impact. It's just so hard to make a move on the inside here. But you also don't want to be running the outside the whole time because you can run the risk of giving up the spot. Kind of driving a bit hard, thankfully able to roll the car, try to get it to cut down. We've got 2 to go this time by.
2 laps left. Come on, you're looking good for a podium.
Just trying to do the best I can to keep it here in 2nd. I am really working hard, really sweating this one. This is not a fun battle. I mean, this is fun, but this is not fun. This is not easy for me right now. 2 gets a bit loose. It's going to buy me a little bit of time getting the white flag this time by. He's going to start blocking the 5. 5 is trying to look to get by him. They go side by side through 1 and 2. Push way up. Give me big gaps. Long as I don't screw up 3 and 4, I've got 2nd place. That was intense, and it's going to be a great battle for the 5 and the 2. 5's going to get a bad run off. 8's almost trying to get to the 5, but not going to quite have enough time to get there. But
well done. Decent drive.
wow, I can breathe. 2nd place. That was, for a low strength of field, that was a really intense last 15 laps or so. That was just great racing and super intense battle. Lot of fun there. So I have to see if I can send a message to the 2 for running me great. We'll see if he disconnected. And he just did, but yeah, that was like some of the cleanest racing I've seen in a long time, especially in a short track series. Like, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Congratulations to the 10 for having great pace. That was awesome to the 10 for being able to do what he did. Really clean race overall. You can see guys in the back had some issues, but overall seemed like a pretty clean race. So 2, I think, got the 2x from hitting the wall that first time that gave us the big gap. So take a look at the tires, 77.83. Definitely was pushing a bit too hard at the end in terms of trying to save tires, but I had to do the best I could to try to keep it in front of the 2. It was at that point, it was all about racing all out as hard as I could, not making mistakes to hold 2nd. So don't feel like I really did anything dirty with him. Oh, we got a viewer in the 5. That was awesome. That was great racing with him. So he did a great job. That's cool to have a viewer in here. Great race, Greg. That was awesome. You had a great run at the end. Alright, so let's go take a look at the stuff with the 2. Or not the 2, excuse me, the 9. And see what happened there. So I want to, what I'm going to do is go back a little bit further. Go get to, see if we can get to the end so this will show up. You see 11 cuts down on the 13, there's a bit of an issue there, that's going to create a wreck there, that was one of them that we saw. I don't know if these are going to show up since they were 0x's. Okay, so here's the first one. You get... Alright, so let's rewind slightly here. This is, look at this coming down the backstretch. I was not to the 3, or I was not to the inside of the 9 at this point, but he was opening it up and continually entering a bit too high. If he had been entering in this area or this area, I would have never stuck my nose in here, but because he was up here, if not slightly higher, that's why I was thinking about trying to get to the inside, especially because he was getting loose off the corner. So you can see I didn't come anywhere near pushing up into him. Okay, so that impact, let's look at it from his perspective. I'm going to actually call that on me, most likely, because he's coming out of the corner. He's coming up. Yeah, that first impact is definitely on me. Really lucky to have not gotten a 2x out of that, or even a 4x. That one was definitely my fault. So I can understand why he might have come down on me a little bit angry about that. I pushed up a little too high. That one was definitely my fault. That was a bit of short track racing, but I should have stayed a little more off him. I was just trying so hard to get to his inside to try to get by him. So this one he slides up. This one I'm gonna call him cutting down on me. Let's rewind it and look at it from my position. Okay. So we're gonna come in. You can see the 5 was doing a great job trailing. That's who's sending me the private message. So great job to him again, Greg. That was awesome. Thank you for running me super clean, and great battle with the 2. So you can see the 9 slides, loses it up. He quickly tries to save it. He sees me coming down. I'm pretty much holding my line, if not cutting towards the bottom, and he's kind of continuing to come down. So yeah, the first one, I will definitely take the fault for the first one because I pushed up into him coming out of turn 4. But this one, I'm pretty much to his door. I'm definitely ahead of the left to retire. I'm pretty much at the number, and he's just continuing to come down like he's got ownership of the lane, which, in my opinion, at that point, he doesn't. It's because I'm already far enough up, he's definitely got to kind of concede that inside lane and go. So again, pretty lucky on that one to have not gotten a 0 or not gotten a 4x out of it, that I got away with the 0x, and then it sends him up. Honestly, I don't really feel too bad about that contact. That was definitely on him. I feel bad that it gets the 8 involved. You can see he loses it off the wall and sends him down the track. He kind of gets loose, and then the 8 actually does a good job saving it. I thought there was a bigger wreck out of this. It's just 2 cars actually getting loose, so he just fell back. Looks like he ended up finishing 7th. So, I don't know. I guess we're kind of even after that. I sent him one. He kind of sent me one. I don't know. I kind of call it even. Both sides are kind of short track racing, but again, I should have done a better job staying off of him coming out of turn 4. But he definitely, unfortunately, with the way he slid up in the corner and the way I got in, I definitely got to his door and really kind of had the ownership of that line. So he probably should not have come down quite as hard as he did. So. Yeah, I mean, overall, fairly clean overall. That's kind of short track racing. Again, with how tough this is to pass, you really do have to push edges, so I kind of get it. But, yeah, he definitely, I don't think, had the pace at all. We can look at lap times and see, but the two was one of the quickest ones, and I'm very fortunate to have finished second. And honestly, if the race would have kept going, the 5 easily had a shot at me, and the 8 was picking up as well. So let's take a look at the results, see how those did. Hopefully, those turn out pretty well. Fortunately, got a 2x in qualifying, so that kills the overall potential gain just slightly, but not too bad. Yeah, pretty weak strength field, 2288. I was really hoping for this time slot to do a little bit better, but still definitely provided some really competitive racing overall. It was top split of 4. You can see the 13 actually turned the fastest lap time at 427. Wow. Track seemed a bit hotter, so I think that kind of slowed paces down overall. Let's see. The 2 actually fastest lap time was not as fast as me, but I think I might have burned up tires just a little bit more trying to get underneath the 9 and get by him. If I wouldn't have been running side by side and wouldn't have been able to run a little bit of a higher line and dive in a little more, I probably would have been able to save the right side tires a little bit better and had a little bit overall pace. It was just tough to try to get by the 9 overall. So you can see I was certainly faster than him. Definitely faster than the 5 up front, although the 5 just did a great job saving tires and adjusting the line coming out and ran really well that way. So pretty tight racing overall, though. So that was a lot of fun, even though we were way back from the 10 and the 10 was just in his own field. That was a lot of fun with everybody else. That was a great last 15 laps or so between the 2 and the 5 and me. That was a great 3-car battle that hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. So able to gain 70 out of that, so back over 2600, just slightly over at 2616, but happy with that, and able to gain 0.16 out of the safety, so up to 2.5. If I keep running these clean races like that, should hopefully start bringing up that incidence per corner, or bringing down the incidence per corner and clearing some of those incidents out of the memory, and should be able to gain safety rating a little bit faster. So hopefully going to get relatively soon, keep it clean, and try to get to that 0.4 to get me over 3.0 as well, and keep working on it. But that was definitely a lot of fun. That was nerve wracking. That was a really good battle at the end. I had a lot of fun with that for as nervous as that was. Glad to have driven decently competitive and able to come away at the second place finish. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Feel free to leave your feedback on both incidents with the 9, and if you got any comments about the battle, driving better or anything like that, just love to hear from you guys. But hopefully that was a far more enjoyable race to watch for you than some of the other ones I've had recently. So with that, I will sign off and stay tuned for more races. And until the next one, hopefully all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.